Part 23. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 221. Infuriating mobilization. In an instant, Whitesnake's hands were shrouded in a dark green poisonous mist. Little tricks. Boom. Whitesnake directly slapped the ground under his feet. Immediately afterwards, with Whitesnake as the center, the land began to be eroded by the poisonous mist. The black land spread quickly. The liger in the sandstorm noticed something was wrong. When it saw the black land coming towards it, it didn't hesitate at all, spread its wings and flew into the sky. The liger beast in the sky looked at the black land and couldn't help but secretly thought, although I don't know what method this is, but just looking at the color of the land, the liger can be sure that if he falls down now, he will definitely suffer a little bit. The moment the liger flew into the air, Whitesnake also seized the opportunity. As he raised his hand, several strands of true energy turned into arrows, attacking directly towards the liger like a heavy rain. Seeing this scene, the liger immediately waved its wings to resist. However, the attacks were densely packed and the huge ligers could not be completely avoided no matter how flexible they were. A burst of energy directly penetrated the liger's wings. The wings were punctured and a bloody hole appeared. But the liger doesn't care. For a being like it, these injuries are nothing as long as they are not decapitated and seriously injured. But it suddenly noticed something was wrong. Poison. A violent and terrifying poison was spreading throughout his body along his wounds. The liger made a quick decision and fired a sharp blade of Genkai, cutting off its own wings. Blood splattered everywhere, and the poisoned wings were directly cut off by the liger. The liger looked at the Whitesnake on the ground with a solemn gaze. After losing one of its wings, the liger could no longer keep flying. The huge figure was falling towards the black earth. But how could the liger make such a stupid mistake? It mobilized its true energy, and a strong wind suddenly lifted it up. I have no enmity with you, but you want to put me to death. Good. You've succeeded in irritating me. I won't hold back any more. Rumble. The ground shook and the soil surged. In the blink of an eye, the land within a radius of 10 miles turned into sand, sweeping directly towards the Whitesnake. Whitesnake sneered when he saw this, and when he raised his hand, a true energy barrier appeared. She waved her hand, and the chi barrier began to expand. For a moment, the crushed soil and the chi barrier collided with each other. Whitesnake looked at the liger in the air, raised his hands, and gathered his true energy again. Seeing Whitesnake's movements, the liger roared angrily. Still want to do the same thing again? The sound waves containing true energy hit Whitesnake directly. Whitesnake took a few steps back, and the sound waves crushed the ground beneath her feet, but Whitesnake also seized the opportunity. The Genkai spear condensed in her hands. Talent activates. The Genkai spear, originally composed of pure white Genkai, was suddenly endowed with poison. The pure white energy was mixed with a hint of ominous black. Whitesnake took a step forward and threw the Genkai spear directly at the liger. The liger immediately dodges upon seeing this. It's just a chi spear. If it were to dodge, couldn't it be easily dodged? But it underestimated the Whitesnake. The Genkai spear suddenly exploded in the air, and densely packed poisonous Genkai, like needle pricks, fell directly on the liger. The liger's eyes widened, never expecting that it would end like this. The poison enters the body. With such a large area of contact, the liger didn't even have time to react. It channeled its true energy and tried its best to suppress the poison in its body. But then, it discovered to its horror that its own chi was also contaminated the moment it came into contact with these toxins. How is this possible? We are both demons and immortals, how come you can master such poison? The poison is eating away at the liger's vitality step by step. The liger quickly knelt down and begged for mercy. This great immortal, please accept your magical powers. You are too young to see Taishan, so just let me go. Even at this time, it didn't care whether the ground was poisonous or not. The toxins on its body have eroded its whole body. If it doesn't beg for mercy, its life will probably be lost. At this time, Lu Jin took a step forward. While the liger was weak, Lu Jin planned to put it into the suppression pagoda. But before Lu Jin could take action, an arrow shot through the air. The arrow penetrated directly through the liger's body. The liger's eyes widened and it fainted. Lu Jin's face darkened. He was so quick that he didn't notice it immediately. Lu Jin checked the liger's injuries. Fortunately, there is help. He hasn't asked Liger about heaven yet, so he can't die like this. At this moment, Lu Jin sensed a murderous intention targeting him. Whoosh! Lu Jin caught the flying arrow. He looked directly into the distance with a serious look. On the hillside in the distance, a man wearing golden armor was looking at Lu Jin with a curved bow in his hand. Lu Jin caught his arrow, but he still had that stern look in his eyes. Very good. It had been a long time since Lu Jin had met anyone who dared to intercept his prey. There were no guards around the man in front of him. Therefore, it is certain that this person's strength must not be low. Judging from the strength of the arrow just now, his strength is around the immortal level. If he wasn't at the immortal realm, how could he dare to challenge Lu Jin? Those two arrows didn't even use much energy, which was enough to illustrate his purpose. The white snake next to him was already showing murderous intent at this moment. Your Majesty, do you want to kill him? Lu Jin didn't speak, just nodded. White Snake understood immediately. Almost instantly, the white snake disappeared from the spot. When she appeared again, she was already in front of the man. Whoosh! 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 Several beams of poisonous chi flew out. But the man looked at White Snake with a hint of amusement in his eyes. Raising his hand, the man caught the White Snake's poisonous chi. Seeing this scene, White Snake couldn't help but be extremely surprised. He actually took the initiative to capture his poisonous chi? Could it be that this person is a fool? The man crushed the highly poisonous chi, but the next second, he opened his palms, and there was no trace of poisoning on his palms. When White Snake saw this scene, his face suddenly became serious. She knows her poison best. Even if you are in the immortal realm, you will need to spend a lot of energy to suppress the poison if you come into contact with it. If you want to get rid of it, you must find a stable environment and spend a lot of time getting rid of it. But there is a situation where your own poison will have no effect. That means this person must be stronger than her. And much stronger. When a person is infinitely stronger than you, any of your methods will be ineffective against him. The man in front of me is a good example. The man looked at the white snake. At this moment, the white snake felt as if he was the prey being targeted by the hunter. I am the demon general Tang Tians. It's not too late for you to surrender now. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 222. General Tians. You know, in the historical background of Yaotang, there is only one person who has won this title. Tang Taizong Li Shimin. The man in front of him was fully armed and looked like a military commander. And he didn't have any dragon power in him, and he didn't look like he would become an emperor at all. Then, Lu Jin can be sure of his judgment. The Li Shimin in front of him is not Tang Taizong Li Shimin, but Tian's General Li Shimin. If the same person in the two periods is summoned by the alien lord, his position will naturally be different. At the same time, Lu Jin could also guess that the so-called Demon King of Tang was most likely also a foreign lord. Otherwise, why would there be existences like White Snake Xuerongui and Tian's General Li Shimin? But as the alien lord, he should have known about Long Han's existence for a long time. But it turns out that the demon king of Tang dynasty did not know the details of Long Han. This also shows that he does not understand the affairs of the alien lord. He can summon generals from other worlds, but he doesn't understand alien lords. Then the identity of the demon king of Tang dynasty can almost be revealed. The 2nd century-old lord. From some information, Lu Jing quickly conducted a series of identity analyses on the demon king of Tang dynasty. At this time, General Tian's Li Shimin spoke again. This is the territory of Yaotang. Every plant and tree in Yaotang belongs to His Majesty. Including the monster beasts you hunted, they are also my Yaotang heritage. There are very few people in the immortal realm in Yaotang. I know all of them. You guys must be from other countries. If you come to our territory to hunt monsters, that's stealing. Put down the monster and bow your head obediently. I can let you live. Admiral Tian's Li Shimin chuckled, not taking Lu Jin and the others in his eyes at all. White Snake couldn't help but frown slightly when she saw this. She flashed and appeared next to Li Shimin in an instant. But Tian's Admiral Li Shimin just glanced at her. Lightning strikes. The spear turned into an afterimage, and the true energy condensed. The speed is so fast that White Snake can't even see clearly the opponent's attack trajectory. Blood flowed out, and the White Snake was directly flown out and fell to the ground. A ravine was drawn on the ground, and the White Snake crawled out of the mud with difficulty. She looked at her belly. A bloody wound appeared on her abdomen. White Snake couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air, and turned his energy to start healing his wounds. And General Tian's Li Shimin just stood there, calm and composed, as if nothing happened just now. One blow, just one blow severely damaged the White Snake Holy Soul Guard. The three-legged Golden Crow Holy Soul Guard and the Yamata no Orokai Holy Soul Guard saw the scene and suddenly felt a chill in their backs. What kind of terrifying existence is this? They know the strength of the White Snake Holy Soul Guard very well. But even such a White Snake Saint Soul Guard couldn't resist the opponent's attack. At this time, the White Snake Holy Soul Guard stood up and wanted to continue to charge forward. Back off. The god puppet Lu Jin spoke up, and the White Snake Holy Soul Guard looked at the god puppet Lu Jin. Originally, the White Snake Saint Soul Guard wanted to write something, but the god puppet Lu Jin had already picked up the yin-yang stone. This shows that he has entered a fighting state. Lu Jin wants to take action himself. After receiving this information, the White Snake Saint Soul Guard stopped talking and obediently retreated to the rear and began to heal his wounds. The god puppet Lu Jin absorbed the true energy in the yin-yang stone and slowly walked towards Tian's General Li Shimin. Seeing the rising aura of the god puppet Lu Jin, Tian's Admiral Li Shimin's expression gradually changed from contempt to solemnity. In the end, the aura of the god puppet was fixed in the demigod realm. Demigod realm? I thought you had something to rely on, but it turns out it's just a demigod cultivation level. Seeing that the god Lu Jin's cultivation was fixed at the demigod state, Tian's General Li Shimin had a relaxed smile on his face again. He thought that the cultivation level of the god puppet Lu Jin in front of him would soar without limit. But now it seems that he thought too much. The strength of the demigod realm cannot beat me, a general of the god-human realm. As soon as he finished speaking, Tian's General Li Shimin stopped covering up and directly unleashed all his coercion. Cultivation in the realm of gods and humans. This is the first god-human being that Lu Jin encountered in Yaotang. But now, Lu Jin, the god puppet, can only display the cultivation level of a demigod. But so what? Lu Jin sneered, and when he raised his hand, the sky was covered with dark clouds, and thunder was rolling among the clouds. Divine thunder comes to the world. Rumble. In an instant, thousands of thunderbolts fell from the sky. The thunderbolts gathered together and struck directly at Tian's General Li Shimin. Thunder from the sky gathered, and Tian's General Li Shimin was overwhelmed by the sea of thunder. Such terrifying thunder made Whitesnake and others who were watching the battle feel palpitations. If they were hit by such a thunderous thunder, they would definitely be dead. However, after all, there was an existence in the realm of gods and humans on the opposite side. In the Sea of Thunder, General Tian's Li Shimin swept out with a long spear. Brush. A shot split the sky thunder, and Tian's General Li Shimin reversed the spear. A golden light appears. One blow. In an instant, a golden light penetrated the sky, and a huge Genkai blade struck directly towards Lu Jin. Lu Jin snorted coldly and raised his hand. The land turned into mountains. The mountains merge into one, directly sealing the sharp blade of true energy within them. Immediately afterwards, Lu Jin struck out with a palm. The newly created mountain range was like a huge boulder, heading directly towards Li Shimin. Li Shimin frowned slightly, swung his spear, and split the mountains directly. The art of summoning divine thunder, the art of moving mountains and filling seas. I didn't expect that you have quite a lot of tricks. But with so many methods, your energy should have been almost exhausted. Infuriating consumption? Lu Jin chuckled, and tens of thousands of yin-yang stones appeared behind him. With the injection of Genkai, the lost Genkai in Lu Jin's body was replenished again. Seeing this scene, Li Shimin finally had a trace of surprise on his face. Click. Suddenly, a crisp sound fell into Lu Jin's ears. Lu Jin glanced at his palm and saw a crack in his palm. This crack was not big, but Lu Jin knew it very well. The god puppet he currently controls can only reach the demigod state at best. Maintaining the demigod state for a long time will cause irreparable damage to the god puppet. But so what? Now Lu Jin already has a stronger god puppet substitute. In this case, it would be better to directly increase the value of this god puppet to the highest level. Click, click, click. There are more and more cracks on the surface of the god puppet, but the face of General Tian's Li Shimin on the opposite side is getting more and more ugly. Finally, General Tian's Li Shimin couldn't sit still. A spear burst out with true energy, and instantly, a shadow appeared behind him. It's a dragon. A genuine five-clawed golden dragon. This is the demon soul of General Tian's Li Shimin. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 223. Roar. The five-clawed golden dragon let out a dragon roar. Li Shimin waved his spear, and in an instant, a golden dragon burst out from the tip of the spear. The golden dragon carried unrivaled power and attacked directly towards Lu Jin. Lu Jin looked at the Genkai golden dragon getting closer and closer. When he raised his hand, divine thunder wrapped around his body. Boom! Lu Jin struck the sky thunder to inject true energy and bombarded directly towards the true energy golden dragon. For a moment, the true chi golden dragon and the true chi heavenly thunder collided together. Terrifying pressure burst out. Both exploded at the same time. At this moment, the world was silent. Whitesnake immediately mobilized his true energy and directly enveloped the Liger and the other two Holy Soul Guards. Before the three-legged Golden Crow and others could react. Rumble. The dazzling light directly covered their field of vision. The earth cracks and the soil is annihilated. The violent Genkai spread and directly impacted the Whitesnake Holy Soul Guard's Genkai barrier. But just for a moment, a crack appeared in the Chi barrier. The terrifying pressure of infuriating energy penetrated through the cracks. Just a hint of infuriating pressure made both the three-legged Golden Crow Holy Soul Guard and the Yamato no Orokai Holy Soul Guard feel palpitations. What are you two doing in a daze? Why don't you come over and help? The injury had not yet recovered, but now the aftermath of the true energy was coming, and the Whitesnake Holy Soul Guard's hastily deployed true energy barrier was naturally difficult to withstand. The three-legged Golden Crow Holy Soul Guard and the Yamato no Orokai Holy Soul Guard reacted immediately. They quickly injected all their true energy into the true energy barrier. Finally, the Genkai barrier has become much thicker. When the aftermath of the true energy dissipated, the three of them looked at the surrounding situation and couldn't help but widen their eyes. They saw that a terrifying pit with a diameter of 1,000 meters had appeared in front of them. Is this a battle in the realm of gods and humans? Looking at the messy battlefield, the White Snake Holy Soul Guard couldn't help but sigh. At the bottom of the pit, the god puppet Lu Jin looked at General Tian's Li Shimin, who was not far away. At this time, Li Shimin no longer looked as high-spirited as before. The armor on his body was in tatters, and even the spear in his hand had cracks. He couldn't hold on for long. But looking at Lu Jin's side, things weren't much better. Because it absorbed too much infuriating energy, the god puppet's endurance has basically reached its limit. If the fight continues like this, the final result will inevitably end with Lu Jin's puppet being damaged. Cracks were almost all over his body, and he looked very embarrassed. Li Shimin on the opposite side also saw that Lu Jin was at the end of his strength. As a demigod, you can force me into such a situation, you can be proud. But the next winner will definitely be me, so prepare to die. The true energy exploded. This time, Li Shimin directly mobilized all the true energy in his body without any mercy. He has already paid the price of underestimating the enemy. If he continues to underestimate Lu Jin in front of him, he is probably going to overturn. Lu Jin glanced at Li Shimin and took out the yin-yang stone again. Seeing the yin-yang stone, Li Shimin suddenly became nervous. He knew very well that every time Lu Jin came into contact with this strange stone, he regained his true energy. There must be something seriously wrong with this particular stone. So, he immediately became nervous. Seeing Li Shimin become nervous, Lu Jin smiled. This body has almost reached its limit. I will give you one last gift. Start up. The god puppet explodes. Demigod-level infuriating energy suddenly exploded. Tian's Admiral Li Shimin had no time to react and was instantly enveloped in a white light. Again. The White Snake Saint Soul Guard quickly deployed the true energy barrier. The other two Holy Soul Guards immediately injected their true energy to strengthen the true energy barrier. Rumble. The already devastated battlefield was once again devastated. After the aftermath of the true energy dissipated, General Tian's Li Shimin was going crazy. Now his true energy is close to bottoming out, and his body has also suffered a lot of internal injuries. He was just out hunting monsters, but he ended up in such an embarrassing end. Looking at Lu Jin, who had turned into a pile of fragments, Li Shimin's face became even more ugly. No wonder there are inexplicable cracks on his body. He originally thought that the other party used some kind of secret method, which caused changes in his body. But now it seems that I am completely overthinking it. The existence he was fighting against was not a real person at all, but a puppet created by a certain existence. Demigod puppet. Who is it? How could he create such a terrifying puppet? And that strange stone can actually replenish the energy. First collect these fragments and hand them over to His Majesty. In addition, those guys should know some inside information, and we will take them back when the time comes. Today's Yaotang is really troubled by internal and external troubles. You can encounter such things just by hunting within the territory. Thinking of this, Tian's General Li Shimin took a step forward, preparing to collect the fragments of the god puppet. Wrong. Boom. So what if there's another one? That's right. Although Lu Jin's current cultivation level is that of a demigod, he has divine power and can transform his true energy into divine power. Let go of the pressure. Without any hesitation, he immediately took a few steps back and used the chi barrier to protect himself. There is indeed something about a divine human realm general. What's the situation? A black shadow fell straight down. No godhead but divine power. How is this possible? Lu Jin smiled. Did he think the dragon armor was the same as the previous god puppet? When the smoke cleared, General Tian's Li Shimin saw a scene he would never forget. He didn't notice the aura of the godhead. Is this the breath of divine power? You must know that only practitioners with godhead can transform true energy into divine power. Regardless of the manufacturing materials or manufacturing techniques, the dragon armor in front of me is completely different from the previous god puppet. That Lu Jin collected the fragments on the ground and put them into his backpack. It's a pity that I have more than one god puppet. Then, his eyes fell on Tian's General Li Shimin. Oh, is another one going to die? The visitor is none other than the brand new god puppet created by Lu Jin, dragon armor. Suddenly, he felt something bad. Demigod. If two people fight, there will only be one outcome. The moment he felt the dragon armor's breath, Li Shimin panicked. That means Lu Jin can beat him. Another Lu Jin appeared in his field of vision. The aura of the dragon armor enveloped Li Shimin directly like an evil dragon. Is the puppet in front of me a god? Because the gap between divine power and true energy is as big as heaven and earth. This is why the demon king of Tang dynasty desperately wants to obtain the godhead. Admiral Tian's looked at the dragon armor in front of him and sneered. He took out the sword from his waist and pointed it directly at the dragon armor. Your puppet is no more than a demigod, and I pretty much figured out your attack patterns. Although Li Shimin is in the realm of gods and humans, he does not have a godhead and can only use true energy. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 224. Run. At this moment, the idea of escape burst out in Li Shimin's mind like a burst of sparks. And this little spark, with the force of starting a prairie fire, swept away all his sanity in an instant. No chance of winning. His current vitality is almost exhausted, and he has no time to deal with the injuries on his body. And what he has to face is a puppet with divine power. A puppet in the realm of gods and humans. Before meeting dragon armor, Li Shimin couldn't even think about it. There are actually people who can turn puppets into gods and humans. No chance of winning. If you don't run, you'll be killed. Obviously, if you want the other party to let you go, it is tantamount to wishful thinking. You will fail and be killed by the enemy. But, so what? I am Li Shimin, the demon Tang Tian's general. How could I escape? As soon as he finished speaking, General Tian's Li Shimin took out a flare directly from his arms. Infusing qi, the signal flare exploded directly. Scarlet light soared into the sky. And Lu Jin reacted immediately, controlled the dragon armor, drew the bow and arrows, and injected the true energy. A series of operations run smoothly. Whoosh! The arrow turned into a stream of light and flew straight towards the flare. But at this moment, Li Shimin's eyes were awe-inspiring. He drew his bow and arrow, and injected his true energy. He directly injected 100% of his energy. This signal flare must be launched. Whoosh! The two arrows collided directly in the air. The true energy exploded, and the two arrows turned into powder and disappeared in place. Boom! The signal flare successfully took off, and a dazzling star appeared in the sky. And this red star will attract other Yaotang generals to come for support. Tian's general Li Shimin looked at the red flares in the sky and smiled. When the signal flare is launched into the sky, then I have a glimmer of hope. A stick of incense. The Yaotang general who is closest to me can arrive in just a stick of incense. And now, I only need to use the last 30% of my true energy to delay you for just one stick of incense. After one stick of incense, what if you are in the divine realm? 2 fists are no match for 4 hands, and you will eventually fail. Having said that, General Tian's Li Shimin clenched the long bow in his hand and fixed his eyes on Lu Jin. He is ready. 1 stick of incense, only 1 stick of incense is needed. A stick of incense. It seems like I've really been underestimated. You don't need a stick of incense, you only need half a stick of incense. Half a stick of incense, I'll kill you. Before he finished speaking, Lu Jin's figure disappeared from the spot. So fast. A trace of panic flashed in Li Shiman's eyes, and he could not detect Lu Jin's movements. Can't even feel a breath. We are both in the realm of gods and humans, but the gap is so huge. At this moment, Lu Jin appeared, and he appeared in front of Li Shiman. Lu Jin raised his right fist and struck straight at Li Shiman. Li Shiman looked at the fist that was getting closer and closer. He wanted to move, but his body became extremely heavy. No. If you use your physical body to resist, you won't be able to catch this punch. His body's instinct was telling him to stay away. Be sure to stay out of the way. But he can't move. Boom. Li Shiman flew out directly. Immediately afterwards, the strong wind swept away directly with a huge sound. Li Shiman in the ruins suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and felt severe pain all over his body, as if he would fall apart in the next second. Damn it! Why are you so strong? There is a huge difference in power between a blow containing divine power and a blow containing true energy. At this moment, Li Shiman finally understood how big the difference was between not having a godhead and having a godhead. At this time, Lu Jin teleported to Li Shiman again. Another punch. At this time, Li Shiman had already tasted the power of fists. How could he dare to be careless again? If he gets punched again, I'm afraid he will die directly here. Dragon Scale Protection. At this moment, a strong desire to survive surged into my heart. Li Shiman directly chose the fusion of demon souls to accelerate his demonization. In an instant, golden dragon scales adhered to his body surface. Boom. With another punch, Lu Jin directly bombarded him into the mountain. But this time, Lu Jin glanced at his fist. The touch is different. This time, he punched out and felt as if he had hit a piece of armor. And Li Shiman limped out of the mountain. He was covered in blood and had transformed into a half-dragon and half-human dragon. Brush. However, the 5-clawed golden dragon soul would not let go of the weak Li Shiman. Looking at Li Shiman, who was almost unconscious in front of him, Lu Jin sneered. When Lu Jin saw this, he suppressed it directly and then refined it. But Lu Jin glanced at Li Shiman, raised his hand, and his divine power turned into countless threads wrapped around Li Shiman's body. Transform into a dragon. It's because I think too much. Life and death crisis. At this moment, Li Shiman, whose consciousness was nearly blurred, sensed the crisis. Fortunately, he is a demon general in the realm of gods and humans, and the rewards after killing him are really rich. Cut. Roar. The system prompt sounded, and Lu Jin looked at the system rewards and couldn't help but sigh. As he raised his hand, a sharp blade appeared in his hand. But that treasure box is a special treasure box that I got. You can upgrade it by killing the enemy. In an instant, the 5-clawed golden dragon swallowed up Li Shiman's soul, and Li Shiman's body was completely transformed into a demon. It's a pity that Lu Jin thought he could get a red god-level gift bag. On the record panel of this treasure box, his war points have already reached an extremely terrifying number. But how could he block the sharp blade formed by condensing divine power with his mortal body? Ding! Congratulations on successfully killing the famous character Tian's Admiral Li Shiman. Here are the rewards: a colorful holy level heaven and earth treasure box, and a colorful holy level prop gift pack, colorful holy grade material yellow sky mica. Now, there is a red god level treasure box in Lu Jin's backpack. Li Shiman only felt a force entering his body. He had already reached the gate of hell, but was pulled back abruptly. At this moment, his consciousness was completely blurred. A dragon roar burst out, and Li Shiman's hands turned into dragon claws and pounced directly towards the divine blade. But after receiving Lu Jin's fist forcefully, how could he remain intact? With divine power injected into the sharp blade, Lu Jin no longer intends to show mercy. I can't let go of the five-clawed golden dragon soul in the divine realm so easily. Li Shiman's body was cut into two halves. At this moment, Li Shiman directly let go of demonization. An unspeakable killing intent enveloped him. He had hunted many of Sakura's generals and gained a lot of war points, plus the generals and soldiers that Yao Tang had hunted. But Lu Jin hasn't opened this treasure box yet. He wanted to escape, but the weight of his body prevented him from escaping. A golden blade went directly towards Li Shiman, who was in dragon form. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 225. That is, although this treasure box has reached the red god level. But its display panel shows that the red god level treasure chest is not yet the highest level. That's right. There is a more precious treasure chest above the red god level. Lu Jin was very curious as to what precious treasure chests there were above the red god level. Therefore, Lu Jin never chose to open this treasure box. Anyway, there is no shortage of treasure chests now, so keep placing this special treasure chest and keep upgrading it. Maybe one day, this treasure box will give me a big surprise. Returning her gaze to her eyes, White Snake had finished her rest and came to Lu Jin's side. Seeing Lu Jin in front of him, who was exuding a powerful aura, White Snake immediately knelt on the ground. Your Majesty, please forgive me. It was my subordinate who did something wrong. It doesn't matter, encountering a powerful person in the divine realm is something no one can predict. Lu Jin did not blame White Snake, because even he could not have predicted such a situation. Next, White Snake asked Lu Jin, do you want to retreat? Although Li Shiman has been killed now. But it is difficult to guarantee that there are no other gods and humans among the other generals of Yaotang. If there are more than two powerful people in the divine realm coming, then their situation will be dangerous. Now it seems that leaving is the safest option. But Lu Jin glanced at the sky and seemed to have thought of something. You guys leave first, I'll just stay here. Li Shiman's signal bomb is just right to lure the surrounding demon generals over. I will use this god puppet to kill a few more Yaotang generals. In this way, our Longhan army will be able to reduce some losses after entering Yaotang. Having said this, Lu Jin looked at the Liger behind the White Snake Holy Soul Guard. Today's Ligers have long since recovered. But it still chose to play dead and lay motionless on the ground. Are you kidding me? Now there is a strong man in the god-human realm next to it. If it wakes up now, how will it face it? It saw that this person had killed another strong man in the divine realm. It's so easy to kill a strong person in the god realm. Isn't killing yourself as easy as crushing an ant? And Lu Jin could tell at a glance that the Liger was pretending to be dead. But he didn't care. Now that the Yaotang general was about to arrive, it was obviously not a good time to interrogate the Liger. Lu Jin raised his hand and directly used the demon-suppressing pagoda. The Liger was directly suppressed in it. In this way, it won't be able to escape even if it wants to. After that, Lu Jin asked the White Snake Holy Soul Guard to take the other two Holy Soul Guards to continue hunting the monsters. If you encounter a strong person in the god-human realm again, give up on the monsters and run away immediately. However, Lu Jin guessed that there were not many powerful people in the divine realm, even century-old lords. The White Snake Holy Soul Guard left with the other two Holy Soul Guards. Lu Jin took out the treasure box and prop gift bag he had obtained. Ding, do you want to spend 2 million gold coins to upgrade the colorful Saint Grade Heaven and Earth treasure box to the colorful Saint Grade Heaven and Earth treasure chest? 2 million gold coins. This colorful holy treasure chest is really expensive to upgrade. But Lu Jin didn't care. 2 million gold coins was nothing to him now. The profit of the Chamber of Commerce alone is more than this gold coin. Upgrade. Ding, congratulations on getting the 7-color Holy Level Babel treasure box. Ding, do you want to open the colorful Saint Grade Babel treasure box? Turn on. I hope the upgraded 7-color sacred treasure chest won't disappoint me too much. The system's beep sounded in Lu Jin's ears. Ding, congratulations on successfully obtaining the 7-color Holy Treasure Green Lotus platform of creation. Ding, congratulations on successfully obtaining the 7-color Holy Level Prop Human Emperor's Seal. Ding, congratulations on successfully obtaining the colorful Holy Level Architectural Blueprint de Luofu Empty City. All are colorful Holy Grade treasures. A satisfied smile appeared on Lu Jin's face, and he first set his sights on the Green Lotus platform of creation. When he saw the properties of the creation Qinglian platform, he couldn't help but say those words. Produced by the system, it is indeed a high-quality product. Name: Good Fortune Qinglian Terrace. Quality: colorful holy products. Effect: 1 Cultivation speed increased by 200%. Effect: 2 Skill proficiency improvement speed increases by 100%. Effect: 3 The conversion speed of divine power is increased by 100%. Originally, Qianlong City's bonuses were powerful enough, and he had the time and space palace. Now, with the addition of the Green Lotus platform of creation, wouldn't my cultivation progress be rapid in the future? God help me. With this Green Lotus platform of creation, the speed at which I can break through and step into the realm of gods will inevitably be greatly increased. But at this time, as if it was aware of Lu Jin's thoughts, the system actually jumped out. Quality: the only colorful holy product. Effect: can be used to upgrade the Jade Seal. Quality: colorful holy products. The number of dragon guards you can summon has increased. After hearing the system's explanation, Lu Jin gave up the idea of directly attacking Demon Tang Chang'an. Seal of the Human Emperor. Can be used to upgrade the Jade Seal. The strength has also increased. Effect: 2 Human Emperor Coercion. Use the Jade Seal to frighten non-imperial beings, and the attributes of the frightened person will be reduced in all directions according to the difference in strength. If we use this Emperor's Wrath skill, can we directly attack Yaotang's capital? Architectural Blueprint de Luofu Sky City. After the upgrade, if he were to strike him directly, he would most likely be wasting his dragon energy. Taking out his Longhan Jade Seal, Lu Jin took out the Human Emperor Seal. He suddenly discovered that the attributes of his Longhan Jade Seal had undergone earth-shaking changes. The most important thing is that there are actually 2 more effects. Name: Human Emperor Seal. When the white light dissipated, Lu Jin once again focused on his Longhan Jade Seal. The implementation scope of the Emperor's Wrath is limited to the areas where the Lord has been. Name: Longhan Jade Seal. And the Emperor's Wrath can be resisted if there is a strong person in the divine realm sitting in charge. The effect of the Emperor's Wrath will be greatly weakened. Then, Lu Jin set his sights on the second item. Lu Jin was a little curious. What was the use of this Human Emperor's Seal? Colorful holy grade props. Sure enough, just like the Emperor's Sword and Xianyuan Ancient Sword, the two quickly merged together. After Lu Jin saw this sentence, he couldn't help but touch his chin. Can the Jade Seal be upgraded? As the capital of the Demon Tang dynasty, Chang'an must have a powerful person in the divine human realm sitting in its place. It's possible that the monarch of Demon Tang is a master in the realm of gods and humans. Effect: 1 Constellation Dragon Guard, can summon 108 Constellation Dragon Guards with Immortal Realm Cultivation. The name alone piqued Lu Jin's interest. Lu Jin focused on the third item. Lu Jin suddenly had a bold idea. Effect: 3 Emperor's Wrath, it can activate the dragon's energy to thunderously strike a certain area. The number of activations and coverage are related to the amount of dragon energy. Just one sentence. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 226. Floating City. Could it be a city that can fly? If that's the case, you can build one yourself. A city that can float can not only be used as a spaceship to travel across the territory, but can even be used as a weapon to fly out in times of crisis. After all, what he obtained was a building blueprint. With the blueprint, he could build repeatedly. However, when Lu Jin saw the materials needed to build the Deluofu Sky City, he couldn't help but gasp. According to the blueprint, the materials needed to build the Great Luofu Sky City, just the basic materials alone, are an astronomical amount. Even now, Long Han can barely assemble these basic materials with the power of the whole country. The most important thing is that those key materials and high-level materials made even Lu Jin feel frightened when he saw them. It seems like I'm overthinking it. If I use this colorful saint-level city as a hidden weapon, I will probably become the biggest loser in history. Name Deluofu Kong Chang, Blueprint. Quality colorful holy products. Materials required for construction: 1 city founding order, 1 floating stone, 100 units of holy light jade, 100 units of fairy stone, 100 units of light prism jade crystal. The city builder Lu Jin knew that this was not difficult. Because Lu Jin at least knew what this thing was. But Lu Jin was completely confused about the following series of materials. What kind of floating stone? Holy light jade, light prism jade crystal. Even Lu Jin, a reborn person, had never heard of these materials. It seems that there is still a long way to go to build the Deluofu Sky City. Lu Jin put away the construction blueprints, and Deluofu Kong City could only put them back. At least you have to figure out what these materials are first. After looking through all the rewards, there were many useful things among them. It was not in vain that Lu Jin spent so many gold coins to upgrade. Later, Lu Jin set his sights on the gift bag of colorful saint-level props. Just by looking at the name, Lu Jin knew that this prop gift pack would only be able to give out a few props. When Lu Jin took it out, there wasn't even a system upgrade prompt. Therefore, Lu Jin did not have high expectations for this gift package. Ding, do you want to open the gift pack of colorful holy grade props? Turn on. Ding, congratulations on getting the colorful holy level prop teleportation scroll. Ding, congratulations on getting the colorful holy level prop god-killing martial arts. Ding, congratulations on getting the colorful holy level prop supreme resource pack. God-killing martial arts? When Lu Jin saw these 3 words, he immediately became interested. Can such a thing be obtained from this item gift pack? It's not like selling sheep's meat to dogs, right? Lu Jin immediately opened his backpack, wanting to see what this god-killing weapon was. At this time, Lu Jin saw a blade appearing in his backpack. An ordinary blade. But this blade is clearly marked with the name, God-killing martial. Is this the God-killing martial arts? Could the system be teasing him? But when Lu Jin took out the blade, he couldn't help but gasp. Because when he really saw this blade, he actually felt a life and death crisis. This blade exuded heart-stopping power, and even Lu Jin could feel the sharp aura on it through the god puppet. Lu Jin cast his gaze above, and a familiar panel popped up. Name: God-killing martial arts, pseudo. Quality: unique and special. Effect: can kill any enemy. P.S. A blade contains the power of rules. If you are hit by this blade, you will definitely die. Simple and crude. Death is certain. Lu Jin looked at the god-killing weapon in his hand and quickly put it into his backpack. Sure enough, when the god-killing weapon was put into the backpack, the palpitating feeling disappeared. I didn't expect that this prop gift package would be really good. This god-killing weapon can actually be used as one of his trump cards. When he encounters another being in the divine human realm, he will use this god-killing weapon to kill him. Of course, you can also give Monarch Tang a surprise. At this moment, Lu Jin noticed a strange aura approaching. Oh! Has the fish taken the bait? I originally wanted to fish for law enforcement, but in the end I caught a fish, and this fish was also a spy. But just in case, they sent someone to investigate. Fortunately, he had already told the others that if he did not fire a safety flare within a stick of incense, they would leave immediately. As a being in the immortal realm, when faced with this unknown existence, he didn't even have the courage to fight back. At this moment, Lu Jin suddenly came to Chen Yaojin. Lu Jin looked at Chen Yaojin, who looked like he was ready to die generously, and chuckled. The body of General Tian's Li Shimin was not found. Could it be that he had escaped? His eyes scanned for a week and finally landed on Lu Jin. At this moment, Chen Yaojin was extremely happy. Hearing these words, Chen Yaojin suddenly turned pale. The highest cultivation among them is only in the demigod realm, so how can they compete with the god-human realm? Chen Yaojin did not resist, because he knew that his resistance was nothing more than a child's play to a strong man in the divine realm. And Lu Jin scratched his head. These guys are really smart. Huh? Are you the only one here? Divine realm. At this moment, Chen Yaojin looked at the battlefield in front of him, his expression obviously ugly. I can't see the action clearly at all. This feeling was just like when I was suppressed by Li Shimin before. But none of them stepped forward immediately because they knew very well. Being killed by a strong man in the divine realm, I can die without any regrets. Chen Yaojin suddenly broke out in cold sweat, and he was extremely horrified. Sure enough, a figure appeared in Lu Jin's field of vision. This person was Chen Yaojin, who had received the distress signal. He was restraining himself, restraining his inner fear. He was afraid that if he became weak, he would reveal the location of his companions. If I'm not wrong, if I kill you and you don't transmit the signal at the specified time, they will withdraw quickly, right? Lu Jin looked at Chen Yaojin, who clenched his teeth and a trace of blood oozed from the corner of his mouth. Tian's Admiral Li Shimin has the cultivation level of the god-human realm. If he can send out a distress signal, he must also be the god-human realm. I see, you didn't gather here immediately, but instead sent someone over to investigate. Other Yaotang generals had already arrived nearby. Calculating the time, the other Yaotang generals should be arriving soon. In this case, Lu Jin had no intention of dealing with Chen Yaojin. So fast. An existence that can make Li Shimin, who is in the realm of gods and humans, send out a distress signal. What kind of terrifying existence must that be? If you want to kill or behead me, please do as you please. He is also in the divine realm. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 227. Lu Jin raised his palm and made a knife gesture. With a swish sound, a cold light appeared. Lu Jin shook his hand, and a few drops of blood appeared on the ground. At the same time, Chen Yaojin's body fell to the ground. To kill a being in the immortal realm in the divine realm, you don't need any fancy tricks at all. It's just a pity. Lu Jin originally thought that if Chen Yaojin resisted, he might be able to transform into a demon and contribute a demon soul to him. Ding, congratulations on successfully killing the famous character Chen Yaojin. Here's your reward, a golden legendary treasure chest. Lu Jin had no interest in picking up a golden legendary treasure chest. Throwing it into his backpack, Lu Jin left the battlefield. If he continues, he won't be able to catch any other Yaotang generals. In this case, he might as well continue hunting the mobile monsters. And the Demon King of Tang Dynasty, who is far away in Chang'an, is really sitting in his palace. A thunderbolt woke him up from his sleep. After waking up, the Demon King of Tang couldn't help but touch his forehead, and saw that his palms were all covered in sweat. Why? I have an ominous premonition. But soon, the demon king of Tang dynasty smiled. It's ridiculous. With Admiral Tian's leading the hunt, those monsters can't be easily suppressed. I think too much. It's probably because the previous civil and military officials were so useless that they even made me sick. But now, he has summoned all his former ministers. Those old ministers of my own have the strength of the immortal realm. Among them, General Tian's is his most effective general, possessing terrifying divine human realm strength. Isn't it easy to suppress the chaos? Just as Monarch Tang was thinking this, a voice suddenly came from outside. Report. Li Kengxiu, the 13th Taibao, asks to see His Majesty. Li Kengxiu? Didn't he follow the team to suppress the demon disaster? Why did it appear in Chang'an at this time? At this moment, the ominous premonition in my heart resurfaced. But Monarch Tang only felt a sense of boredom. If there's something else, can't we talk about it tomorrow when we go to court? Besides, didn't I ask you to go and kill the great demon of troubled times? Why are you still here at this time? Faced with the scolding of the demon king of Tang dynasty, Li Kengxiu was simply in trouble. Not just him, all other Yaotang generals have returned to Chang'an. They returned to Chang'an firstly to avoid Lu Jian, and secondly to confirm the life and death of General Tian's Li Shimin. After all, they didn't see Li Shimin's body, so they still had some luck in their hearts. Reporting to your majesty, we encountered an unknown strong man while hunting monsters. This strong man killed General Chen Yaojin, and General Li Tian's also fought with him. Now he doesn't know whether he is alive or dead. Knowing that we are outmatched, we will return to Chang'an early. Please, your majesty. Before Li Kengxiu could finish speaking, the door to the palace was pushed open by the demon king Tang. What? Chen Yaojin was beheaded? Do you not know whether Li Shimin is alive or dead? At this moment, Monarch Tang's face turned pale, and even his feet felt like they were floating. Upon seeing this, Li Kengxiu, who was standing next to him, immediately stepped forward to help the demon Tang Qiujun. But Monarch Tang seemed to have thought of something and pushed Li Kengxiu away. No. Impossible. Chen Yaojin is a strong man in the immortal realm. I am not surprised that he was killed. But General Tian's Li Shimin is a being in the realm of gods and humans. No, he's definitely not dead, he's recovering somewhere. Thinking of this, Monarch Tang came to the secret room. In the secret room, several candles with names were burning faintly. This thing is called the life and death candle, and this candle can only be lit with true energy. After clicking it, it can burn for hundreds of years. And if the person who lit it dies, the candle of life and death will automatically go out. In addition, it is impossible to extinguish it even by immersing it in water. Now, Li Shimin's life and death candle has been extinguished. Looking at the extinguished candle of life and death, Monarch Tang felt unbelievable. He is a powerful person in the divine realm. Even if you encounter a being of the same level, you can still escape if you are defeated. Unless. Monarch Tang suddenly thought of a possibility. Unless it is a divine being with divine personality. General Tian's Li Shimin, as one of his strongest generals, has an extremely terrifying level of cultivation. But no matter how strong he is still a strong man in the divine human realm without godhead. The only ones who can kill him are strong men with divine status. King Yao Tang looked at the extinguished candle of life and death, clenched his fists, and strong anger surged into his heart. Damn it! He just sent military generals to quell the demonic disaster, which would kill a god-human realm general. And under him, there are only two gods and humans. One person died, how will he fight with Long Han next? The demon king of Tang dynasty sat in the secret room. It was not until dawn that the demon king of Tang dynasty came out of the secret room. The other officials and generals of the demon Tang dynasty did not dare to speak out easily when they saw the gloomy-looking monarch of the demon Tang dynasty. Pass on my order, Today the Demon Tang troops will begin to gather in Chang'an. The national border has been withdrawn hundreds of miles, and the entire border has been shrunk. What? The national border is withdrawn 100 miles, and all troops are concentrated in Chang'an? The civil servants and generals suddenly felt nervous. Could it be that Yaotang has finally reached its final critical moment? Thinking of this, no one dared to have the slightest objection. At the same time, Yaotang's actions also reached the ears of Lu Jin in Qianlong City. At this moment, Lu Jin was really preparing to go to the Yao Soul Palace to create the Holy Soul Guard with the Demon Suppression Pagoda. After hearing the news passed by the Black Guard, he couldn't help but chuckle. It seems like he's quite capable. Nowadays, demon disasters are serious in Demon Tang. Most of the areas have been invaded by demon beasts and are completely deserted. Abandoning those desolate areas and concentrating our forces in Chang'an is the safest way. If the central area is strengthened, those monsters will be expelled and eventually settle in those uninhabited areas. And these uninhabited areas happen to lie between Monster Tang and Longhan. These monsters will eventually become our roadblock. Lost part of the land, but retained most of its strength. A buffer area was also created. I have to say that this Demon King of Tang Dynasty is quite something. Lu Jin sent the 5-clawed golden dragon Demon Soul into the Demon Soul Palace, and then used gold coins to speed up its production. Acceleration completed. A golden dragon Holy Soul Guard, shrouded in golden holy armor, walked out. Golden Dragon, meet your majesty. A Holy Soul Guard in the realm of gods and humans, not bad. Lu Jin checked the attributes panel of the Golden Dragon Saint Soul Guard. Name Golden Dragon. Army Holy Soul Guard. Realm God Human Realm. Talent Dragon Power. All monsters fighting against the Golden Dragon will be punished by a 50% reduction in all attributes, and other creatures will be punished by a 25% reduction in all attributes. Loyalty 100, die loyal. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 228. There is something about Long Wei's talent. It can actually reduce all the attributes of the enemy. The corners of Lu Jin's mouth rose slightly, extremely satisfied with this new Holy Soul Guard. At this time, the Golden Dragon Saint Soul Guard came to Lu Jin. Subordinate, pay homage to His Majesty Long Yuan Emperor. No need to be polite, from now on you will be my bodyguard and follow me around. The cultivation level of the God-human realm is more suitable to serve as Lu Jin's bodyguard, at Lu Jin's disposal at any time. After all, with great power comes great responsibility. The Golden Dragon Saint Soul Guard immediately accepted Lu Jin's order without any hesitation. Afterwards, Lu Jin continued to use all the demon souls he collected to create Holy Soul Guards. Soon, the first batch of Holy Soul Guards appeared in front of Lu Jin. Among these Saint Soul Guards, the lowest Saint Soul Guards have the Saint Realm cultivation level. Very good. Next, I will give you the first task. That is to summon the civil and military officials of Longhan according to my list. I'll wait for you at Longhan Palace. Receive. As the first task, many Holy Soul Guards did not dare to be careless at all. Lu Jin returned to Longhan Palace and waited for others to arrive. Now the Demon Tang is shrinking its territory, conserving its strength, and beginning to resist the demon disaster. This is indeed a good idea. But such behavior also gave Lu Jin a chance. A great opportunity to annex Yaotang's territory. Those shrinking lands have now become no man's land where monsters are rampant. What Lu Jin has to do is to gather an army and march directly into the territory of Yaotang, and bring these uninhabited lands under the command of Longhan. Soon, all civil and military officials gathered in Longhan Hall. But the attention of the civil and military officials was not on what Lu Jin was calling them for. Their attention was attracted by the appearance of the Holy Soul Guard. The lowest realm of such existences is that of a saint. For such a terrifying existence, His Majesty's methods are really powerful. Your Majesty is your Majesty after all. I have found out that these are called Holy Soul Guards, and they are brand new personal guards recruited by His Majesty. Personal guards. In other words, the Holy Soul Guards are not affiliated with any legion. That's right, the Holy Soul Guards are completely under the command of His Majesty himself. Even the generals of the three armies have no right to mobilize them. It's a pity. If any legion has the Holy Soul Guard, it will be even more powerful and become Long Han's most powerful legion. Among the civil and military officials, Median Wei and Kuang Ma Chao stood together, looking at the surrounding Holy Soul Guards with some disdain. They are all now in the immortal realm, plus they have the blessing of techniques purchased by the Chamber of Commerce. Now Magician Wei and Kuang Makao are strong enough to fight against demigods and are invincible. In addition, the Holy Soul Guard is not a military general, so the Holy Soul Guard knows nothing about leading an army. This also gave Median Wei and Kuang Ma Chao the capital to be confident. So what if it's strong? After all, he is just a reckless man. Lu Jin, who was sitting on the dragon throne, naturally took in the little moves of Magic Wei and Kuang Ma Chao. But he was not angry, instead he was very happy. If other generals and advisors had no objections to the existence of the Holy Soul Guard, but were very humble, then he should have a headache. When they see someone stronger than themselves, their first reaction is dissatisfaction, which means they still have arrogance and their own pride in their hearts. And this pride will turn into their motivation. Nowadays, Long Han's strength is unprecedentedly powerful. There are also some generals who think that they have reached the realm of immortals and are neglecting their cultivation because of their strong cultivation. The appearance of the Holy Soul Guard undoubtedly stimulated them. There are people outside the world and there is a sky outside the world. Don't be complacent just because you have reached the immortal state. If we slack off because of this, Long Han, which is developing rapidly, will quickly leave it behind. At this time, the Golden Dragon Saint Soul Guard completed its mission and stood silently next to Lu Jin. On the other side of Lu Jin is the god puppet dragon armor that Lu Jin personally built. The two, one on the left and one on the right, are both gods and humans. Among the hundreds of civil and military officials on stage, the lowest level of cultivation is the saint level. This is Long Han now. Powerful. Extremely powerful. Everyone, I have gathered you here today just for one thing. As soon as these words came out, the civil and military officials immediately became energetic. Because they all knew that when Long Han Palace gathered together, something big was bound to happen. In today's situation, all civil and military officials are well aware of the major issues. Defeat the Demon Tang. Now that the Demon Tang dynasty is facing internal and external troubles, it has reached a critical moment. How long will it take if we don't send troops to annex the country at this time? From now on, Molu Buletin and Yao Daji, you two will lead 10,000 demon cavalry to raid Yaotang, reclaim and annex the uninhabited land in the north of Yaotang. Magician Wei and Kuang Makao, you two will lead 10,000 yellow scarf warriors to raid Yaotang today, reclaim and annex the uninhabited land south of Yaotang. Zhao Yun and Shenzuj, you two will lead 10,000 wild hunters to raid Yaotang today, reclaim and annex the uninhabited land in the west of Yao. God Li Mu and Jia Su, you two will lead 10,000 Long Han aerial cavalry to raid the Demon Tang dynasty today to reclaim and annex the uninhabited land in the east. East, west, north, south, land in all directions. Now that Yaotang has given way, how could Lu Jin let this fat guy go? Lu Jin directly assigned 4 armies, which would definitely destroy the entire Demon Tang dynasty. After everyone was assigned, Len Yun suddenly stood up. Your Majesty, I also want to raid Yaotang and contribute to Long Han. Many courtiers did not expect that Len Yun would jump out at this time. When Bai Qi, the god of death, saw Len Yun standing up, a trace of hesitation flashed across his face. He didn't understand why he and Len Yun didn't receive the order. In terms of strength, he and the two sisters Len Yun and Len Yu felt that they were among the best. After all, they are beings with Godhead. Even those generals have rich combat experience and excellent skills. But compared with the Godhead in his body, it is nothing at all. But they all received the mission, but Lu Jin didn't mention him. Their hearts are naturally balanced. At this time, Lu Jin looked at Len Yun and chuckled. Are you anxious? Are you afraid that you won't get the credit? Hearing these words, Len Yun's face did not waver at all. She knelt on the ground and looked at Lu Jin with burning eyes. This little girl has been poor since she was a child and spent the first half of her life wandering around. It was your Majesty who gave me a second life. I don't seek military exploits, nor do I seek glory or wealth. I just seek to be a sharp sword in His Majesty's hands. A sharp blade sheathed is like a pearl covered in dust to a weapon. So, even if I am punished by His Majesty, I will never regret it. Please give me a chance, Your Majesty, a chance to repay Your Majesty. Feeling Len Yun's gaze, Lu Jin felt hot. Lu Jin always felt a strange feeling in his heart every time he faced Len Yun's gaze. Because Len Yun looked at himself completely differently from others. It was not like the way a minister looked at an emperor. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 229. If I had to say it, her eyes were like the eyes 11 she and others looked at her. That's right. Whenever he did not return to the palace for a long time, 11 she and others looked at him with the same look as Len Yun. Thinking of this, Lu Jin couldn't help but shudder. You must be overthinking it. In such an occasion, the way Len Yun looked at him probably didn't mean that. After withdrawing his thoughts, Lu Jin looked at Len Yun and the god of death Bai Qi. In this war, I will definitely take down Yaotang. Because of this, we, Long Han, must show our full strength. Len Yun, Len Yu, and Bai Qi, you three all have extraordinary powers. I have other plans for you. In addition to the Quartet Expeditionary Force, I will personally form a large army and I will personally lead it. Take charge personally. Hearing these words, all the civil and military officials couldn't help but take a breath of air. It seemed that this time Lu Jin planned to annex all of Yaotang in one fell swoop. Lu Jin glanced at Len Yun and others. I will select 10,000 soldiers to form a vanguard camp. Len Yun, Len Yu, and the god of death Bai Qi. The three of you will go out with me as my lieutenants. I see. With such an arrangement, the killing god Bai Qi and the sisters Len Yun and Len Yu breathed a sigh of relief. In this way, the whole Long Han became active again. Various armies set off from Qianlong City and rushed towards Shanhaiguan. Lu Jin also put on the 9-dragon helmet and wore the Xianyuan ancient sword at his waist. Lu Jin glanced at the people behind him, and there were 2 Immortal Realm followers following him, as well as 3 Immortal Realm lieutenants with divine status. With such combat power, he can definitely be regarded as Long Han's main force. And the purpose of their main force is also very simple, that is to attack Chang'an directly and kill the Demon King of Tang Dynasty. The vanguard army attracted the enemy's main firepower, and waited until they had almost exhausted Yaotang's core strength. The other troops from all directions responded one after another and formed a joint attack, which would inevitably strangle and exterminate the entire Demon Tang. This is Lu Jin's plan. Reporting to Your Majesty, all the elite 10,000 dragon men have been assembled. 10,000 elite dragons, including hundreds of Holy Soul Guards. The remaining soldiers are all elite selected from the 3 armies. Its strength and combat experience are beyond the comparison of ordinary recruits. In that case, let's go. Lu Jin drew his sword and swung it in the direction of Yaotang. He turned over and mounted Mo Kailan. The fierce beast transformed into a small figure and sat on Lu Jin's shoulder. Taking the lead, Lu Jin rushed out of Qianlong city. Tens of thousands of troops followed behind them. Although the vanguard army was the last to leave Qianlong city, it was definitely the first to arrive at Chang'an city. 10,000 troops crossed the territory of Longhan, passed by Shanhaiguan and entered the territory of Yaotang. Monsters are rampant along the way, unleashing their wild nature in a no-man's land. Roar. In the vast desert, a demon saint with saint-level cultivation was hunting a group of demonic beasts. But at this moment, it suddenly noticed something was wrong. It raised its head and looked into the distance, only to see traces of human troops appearing on the horizon in the distance. The monster grinned. This no-man's land might have been the territory of humans. But under their pressure, they had already withdrawn. There are actually human troops coming now. Could it be that they are also troops coming to suppress demons? It just so happens that I haven't tasted human beings for a long time. The size of this human army already exceeds 10,000 people. I'm ready for a feast. But very quickly, its expression changed from disdain and contempt, to solemnity and seriousness, and then to fear and fear. Monster Beast Gale quickly discovered the demon saint. Lu Jin glanced at the demon saint and almost didn't take it seriously. Dai Feng, you have been practicing in the Temple of Time and Space for a long time. It's time to show your strength. Go ahead and get rid of that demon saint. The demon beast Gale spread its wings and soared into the sky. The next second, it was like a missile, attacking directly towards the demon saint opposite. Wind blade. The monster Gale waved its wings and directly sent out 2 wind blades. When the demon saint on the opposite side saw this, he immediately turned around and ran away. But no matter how fast it ran, it couldn't outrun the wind, and the wind blade of the strong wind directly cut it in half. Looking at the fallen demon saint, demon beast Gale seemed to have just cleared away a tree blocking the road. It hovers high in the sky, a pair of eagle eyes constantly searching for prey around it. The moment he saw his prey, the monster Gale directly struck the wind blade and launched it. Da-da-da. The horse's hooves trampled the demon saint's body on the ground into a pulp. Suddenly, a strong smell of blood began to fill the team. But the smell of blood stimulated Longhan's elite nerves, making them even more excited. In just half a day, the vanguard army had already penetrated deep into the hinterland of Yaotang and directly arrived near Yizhu city. Reporting to your majesty, the Yizhu city of Yaotang is right ahead. Yizhu city is definitely one of the best among all the cities in Yaotang. Just looking at the neat and solid city walls and the artillery on the walls is enough to illustrate the importance of the city to Yaotang. At this moment, in Yizhu city, the city lord of Yizhu city naturally discovered Lu Jin and others. But what about discovery? The city lord has long heard about the power of Longhan, but now that the demon disaster has been resolved, he is invaded by Longhan again. How does he cope with this? Just then, a guard ran in. Report to the lord of the city, a foreign lord came from outside, saying that he has a way to help Yizhu city tide over the difficulties. Alien lord? The lord of Yizhu city frowned slightly. Even though Monarch Tang had given orders, he was very tolerant of the foreign lords. But the city lord of Yizhu city has always been wary of these strange lords who suddenly appeared. But at this time, it seems that the only living forces he can rely on are these alien lords. Thinking of this, the lord of Yizhu city looked at the guard. Invite this person in quickly. Soon, a man wearing silver armor and a sword at his waist walked in. His steps were steady, and even though Longhan's 10,000 strong army was waiting for him outside, there was no trace of panic on his face. And when this lord came to the city lord, he sat directly in front of the city lord without waiting for him to speak. Such an action naturally made the city lord show a hint of displeasure. If he didn't need to make full use of every bit of power in his hands now, he would definitely let the guards pull such an arrogant person out for questioning. Who knows, This is not too much. The Lord directly grabbed a handful of fruits without treating himself as an outsider. The boy's name is Li Suans, and he is a lord in Yazhu city. Now that the army is approaching the city, I originally just wanted to be a rich man and live out my life in Yazhu city, but the situation forced me. Lord City Lord, how about 100,000 gold coins? As long as you give me 100,000 gold coins, I will help you eradicate the foreign enemies. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 230. 100,000 gold coins. Hearing this number, Yazhu Cheng advocated a big mouth and could not speak for a long time. But in the face of the performance of the city lord of Yazhu city, the alien Lord Li Suans on the opposite side acted unhurriedly. He is not worried. Even if the city is destroyed, he has ways to protect himself. But he, the city lord, had no choice. After the city was broken, the first person Long Han looked for was him, the city lord. Even if he ran away and lost Yazhu city, how could there be a place for him in Yaotang? So, now he only has two choices. One is to open the door and surrender, but the chance of survival is almost zero. Another option is to hold on to the city, at all costs, until Yaotang's reinforcements arrive. Thinking of this, the lord of Yazhu city almost gritted his teeth and said that word. Good. 100,000 gold coins were taken out by the lord of Yazhu city and handed over to Li Suans. Looking at the extra 100,000 gold coins in his backpack, Li Suans narrowed his eyes slightly and showed a satisfied smile. 100,000 gold coins have been given to you. If you can't stop Long Han's army, then don't blame me for turning your back on him. Please rest assured, City Lord, and collect people's money to eliminate disasters for others. With that said, Li Suans looked at the Lord of Yazhu city. At this moment, the unpleasant businessman aura in him disappeared. Instead, it was a pressure that made even the Lord of Yazhu city feel palpitations. He, Li Suans, is not only a demon merchant from Tang dynasty, but he is also an alien lord. All actions, everything, are to improve his strength. Li Suans walked out of the city lord's mansion, and the city lord of Yazhu city followed him out of the city lord's mansion. Immediately afterwards, he saw a shocking scene. Thousands of elite soldiers wearing golden armor gathered in front of the city lord's mansion. The soldiers in the city lord's palace had long been thrown aside, like a bereaved dog. Today, the lord of Yazhu city in the Demon Tang dynasty paid 100,000 gold coins to hire us. With 100,000 gold coins, we need to resist the Long Han army outside the city for 3 days. In 3 days, the Demon Tang reinforcements will arrive, and we will be able to retreat successfully. Take people's money to eliminate disasters for others, and the Golden Army will follow me to the city wall to defend. Give an order. All the Golden Army rushed towards the city wall where Long Han army was located. After a long time, thousands of golden troops took over the city wall. Under the city wall, those Long Han elites have arrived under the city wall. No siege equipment or skills required. A Long Han elite jumped up with a blade in hand and jumped directly onto the city wall. With a stern look in his eyes, he faced a city guard and slashed at him with the blade in his hand. Blood splattered everywhere, and a gap suddenly appeared in the city wall. But as soon as this gap appeared, it was filled by the sudden appearance of the Golden Army. Soldiers wearing golden armor and holding spears made of gold. Before Long Han's elite could gain a firm foothold, he stabbed out with one strike. The Long Han elite immediately noticed that this golden army was completely different from the city defenders. His movements are more fierce and cunning. But, so what? The Long Han elites are all elites selected from the 3 armed forces. Among first-level warriors, he can be considered a master-like existence. I saw Long Han's elite easily dodge the attack, raised his right foot, and stepped on the spear under his feet. Before the other party could react, Long Han Jingli slashed his throat with a knife. Blood spurted out. But just for a moment, something weird happened. The blood in the air seemed to be frozen, and the next second it returned to the throat of the Golden Army. Even the open wounds healed quickly as if they were traveling back in time. Such a strange scene, even the elite Long Han people felt a little surprised. But those golden troops would not give him a chance to be in a daze. A huge force came and Long Han's elite was overturned. The elite Long Han flying in the air couldn't help but show a trace of solemnity on their faces as they watched the spears of the Golden Army attack again. Becoming stronger. The Golden Army in front of us actually became stronger after resurrecting from the dead. But no matter how strong he is, how can he be stronger than Long Han elite? When Long Han's elite slashed directly with his sword. Blade to gun tip. The next second, the spear was split into two halves. The fierce sword energy directly split the Golden Army's arm and spear into two halves. After receiving serious injuries, the Golden Army took a few steps back. In a secret corner under the city wall, Li Suans looked gloomy. He will be bankrupt in one day. Divine power burst out, and all the surrounding golden troops were crushed into pulp by the divine power. Even if there is some loss, with 100,000 gold coins as a base, you won't lose much. Ding, one of your golden soldiers has died. Do you want to spend 100 gold coins to revive him? Then the divine power will continue to suppress it. How dare a golden army who doesn't even have the cultivation level of a first-grade warrior dare to attack and kill a being in the divine realm? If this continues, let alone 3 days. Ding, one of your golden soldiers has been resurrected. Do you want to spend 1,000 gold coins to strengthen it? He thought that with the help of the Golden Army's resurrection function, blocking these Long Han troops would not be a problem at all. Then, it was the same situation again, as if all the blood was going back in time, it re-entered the Golden Army's body. There is no truly immortal existence in the world. The reason why it is immortal now is because we have not discovered the mystery. They wanted to recover, but it was obvious that the speed of recovery was far inferior to the killing speed of dragon armor. Ding, one of your golden soldiers has died. Do you want to spend 100 gold coins to revive him? But the next second, Long Jie noticed that the meatball started to recover. Ding, one of your golden soldiers has died. Do you want to spend 100 gold coins to revive him? And the broken spear on the ground was actually restored to its original state. Gold coins are needed to resurrect the Golden Army, and gold coins are also needed to strengthen it. When Long Jie raised his hand, the golden soldier was directly crushed into a meatball by an invisible force. With the spear in hand, the Golden Army attacks Long Han's elite again. And Li Suans looked at his gold coins dropping at a speed visible to the naked eye, and his face turned ugly. A series of system prompts popped up like snowflakes. Dragon armor, go up and test it out. Made, what a big loss. One of the Golden Army even held back several Long Han elites. Everyone felt as if they were watching a joke. But he underestimated the Long Han army and the elite Long Han army. Even if he was cut into pieces in an instant, he could regain his original appearance in the next second. Suppression again. Even Lu Jin noticed such a strange situation. The other Long Han elites were also held back by the Golden Army. Want to recover again? Seeing someone scaling the city wall, one of the Golden Army soldiers immediately attacked and killed them. Dragon armor received the order and climbed directly onto the city wall.